Picture this, a tropical paradise, an island of stunning tea fields and turquoise waters. Now, imagine that island is holding a secret. A 3,000-year-old secret that has just exploded into our modern world, with consequences that are making headlines globally.
And that brings us to the big question, the mystery we're going to unpack right now. How in the world did a Jewish community of only about 300 people suddenly become the focus of a massive international security crisis on the, normally serene shores of Sri Lanka? The answer, believe it or not, is a story that goes all the way back to the age of kings and prophets.
Okay, so let's set the scene. In late 2024, things got incredibly tense. We're talking about the US and Israeli governments issuing the highest possible travel warning, a level 4 do not travel. Why? Because of a credible threat against Israeli surfers and backpackers in Arupum Bay. The response was immediate, heavy military presence on the streets, community centers shut down. So what on earth led to this? To figure that out, we have to go back. I mean, way, way back. Because this whole modern terror alert is tied to a story that might just begin with one of the most famous kings in the entire Bible. Yeah, you see that right. 3,000 years. This isn't some recent development. We're talking about a history that is truly ancient, woven right into the legends of the island that was once called Serendip. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. There's a theory, a really compelling one, that the biblical port of Tarshish, this place of incredible wealth for King Solomon, was actually the port of Gali in what is now southern Sri Lanka. I mean, the Bible tells us his fleets brought back gold, silver, ivory, all these amazing treasures from there. It suggests a seriously ancient and powerful connection. And this wasn't just some dusty legend. By the Middle Ages, this was a documented reality. We have accounts from Persian and Arab travelers talking about Jews holding top-tier positions in the royal courts. Get this, by the 12th century, 4 of the king's 16 council members were Jewish advisors. This was a really thriving community, maybe around 3,000 people, and they were right at the heart of the all-important spice trade. But the story doesn't end there, not at all. It actually surges forward into the British colonial era, a time that some might call a golden age for the community, where Jewish figures became absolutely fundamental to the creation of modern Sri Lanka. Now, for any of you out there, the doubting Thomases thinking, oh, this is all just ancient history, let's talk about something you can still see and even taste today, Ceylon tea. The de Worms brothers, who were nephews of the famous Rothschilds, were absolute game changers. They didn't just join the tea industry, they completely revolutionized it. And you can still visit the Rothschild estate in Pusalawa. It's a landmark, a testament to their incredible impact. And their impact went so far beyond just commerce. Take Marie Musaeus Higgins, a German Jewish educator who founded Musaeus College. We're talking about one of the most prestigious, most respected schools for girls in the entire country. Her legacy has shaped generations of Sri Lankan women. The more you look, the more astonishing the contributions are. This small community produced not 1, but 2 Chief Justices for the country, Sir Sidney Abrahams and Sir Alan Rose. But maybe the most incredible story of all is that of Sigmund Feniger. He was a German Jew who came to Sri Lanka and became the Venerable Nyanaponika Thera, a world-renowned Buddhist monk. Just wow. So if this history is so rich, so foundational, you have to be asking, where did everybody go? Well, the answer involves an inquisition, a pretty controversial law, and a very surprising return. You're going to want to keep watching to see how this all unfolds. So we have this mystery, this deeply rooted community. It starts to fade away. But that wasn't the end of the story. No, it was actually the beginning of a whole new and much more complicated chapter. This timeline really shows us the key pressure points. First, you have the Portuguese Inquisition in the 16th century, which forced many to either convert or just get out. Then, way later, after Sri Lanka's independence, the Sinhala Only Act of 1956 made Sinhala the only official language. This pushed a lot of minority families, including what was left of the Jewish community, to leave. It really wasn't until 2005 that a new visible presence came back, established by the Chabad movement, which is an outreach organization that sets up community centers for Jewish travelers and locals all over the globe. But here's the thing. Even as the number of practicing Jews dwindled, the legacy itself didn't just vanish. It was absorbed. It became part of the island's DNA. Genealogists point to common Sri Lankan surnames that very likely trace back to Jewish ancestry. So in a very real way, the community is literally woven into the fabric of the island. This new community, though, has run into some very modern problems. By 2025, out of the 5 Chabad houses on the island, it turned out 3 were operating without official registration. This led to a government crackdown and created a much more cautious, tense atmosphere. Okay, so now we have all the pieces on the board. The deep, ancient history, the quiet, almost hidden legacy, and this new, highly visible wave of Israeli tourists. Let's connect all the dots and finally answer the question we started with. And here it is. This is the answer. For centuries, the Jewish presence in Sri Lanka was integrated, it was quiet, but the recent arrival of thousands of Israeli tourists and backpackers created a brand new and very visible community. And that visibility, sadly, collided head-on with 21st century global tensions, which turned these visitors into a target and triggered that massive terror alert. You know, nobody captured this feeling of being part of a long, unfolding story better than Anne Ranasinghe. She was a Holocaust survivor who made Sri Lanka her home, and she became one of its most beloved poets. She saw herself exactly as that, another link in this incredible 3,000-year chain connecting Jewish life to this island. And that really leaves us with this final, really important question. The challenge for Sri Lanka now is to walk this incredibly delicate line. How do you protect a vital part of your economy and ensure security while also respecting a unique heritage that has been part of your story for 3,000 years? Thank you so much for joining us as we went down this rabbit hole to uncover this fascinating and really complex piece of history. If you enjoyed this journey and you want more deep dives into the kinds of stories that have shaped our world, make sure you revisit us here at King's Academy. So, what surprised you the most about all of this? We would genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, we really do read everything you post and will reply as soon as we can.